All right, this is Brandon from Newbler speaking to Celia from IndieCade. So please, I was walking around E3 and I circled IndieCade on the thing because I love independent games. Tell me, what is IndieCade?
IndieCade is an annual festival of independent games. It takes place in Culver City, here in the LA area. It takes place in October. It's the 6th through 9th this year. And we have a jurying process whereby we select about 25 games finalists, and then we give about 8 to 10 awards away each year for excellence in indie game development.
That's fantastic. So a lot of your developers, are they talking to a lot of the students, or?
You know, it widely varies. The only criterion for IndieCade, and it's kind of perfect here at E3 because our only criterion is if you have a publishing deal or funding from anyone else on this show floor, you are not eligible for IndieCade. So you basically have to be independently funded or independently driven in some way to make a game without publisher backing. And the main undercurrent of that is we want people that are making a game for the love of it, not because of a marketing demand. So when you come in our booth here at E3, and we do this showcase for E3 every year because the ESA and the IDG want to see more independent games to kind of push innovation throughout the industry. So we show, anywhere from, 12 to 16 or so games every year here. These are all games that some of them are made by students, some of them are made by artists, small teams, small companies that have angel funding in some cases, sometimes university researchers. This year we have a PhD candidate who's here with a research project. So we really embrace pretty much anything. We even have physical games and non-digital games here. So pretty much anything that you're doing for the love of it, that's really the main, the passion is what we're looking for, really.
Now, do these developers, do they want to possibly branch out eventually as well? Is this no, I don't want to use, is it like a culmination to start and then move
well,
forward?
It depends. It varies because our developers are so diverse. Yes. The classic stereotype is you want to get a publishing deal, but there are some downsides to that. A lot of publishers want to take your IP. So they'll say, we'll give you $100,000 or $200,000 to make your game, and by the way, we want all your intellectual property. And a lot of indies don't want to make that sacrifice. What's interesting is since we started, when we first started, it was pretty much impossible to get an independent title published on a console. But needless to say, all of that has changed in the last few years. So we have people coming in here who are self-publishing on consoles through the Wii, through XBLA, etc. We also have in our retrospective area over here, these are all games we've shown in the past at E3. And some of them have since gotten publishing. So for instance, there's a PSP game over here. You guys can do some filler shot for that. There's a PSP game over here that was originally a student project on a PC that we showed here 2 years ago, and that subsequently got a publishing deal. So it really varies. In some cases, you have artists who really couldn't care less about publishing. The woman over here with the tongue drive who's a PhD candidate from Georgia Tech. Her game is not really publishable because you have to put something on your tongue to play it. But anything here, and also we have a lot of board and card games. Humans vs. Zombies, which you guys talked to earlier. They're a nationwide sensation with their big tag game, and they were also a finalist and award winner at IndieCade last year. So. In their case, they're doing their own thing. They don't really need a publisher per se. They've sort of invented a whole new game medium. So that's kind of where, we like to see that. We like to see people breaking out of the mold and trying different things.
How long has IndieCade been doing its thing for? How many years is the festival?
We've been doing the showcase here at E3 for 5 years, so this is our 5th year, and it's our 4th year for our full festival event. The first year we were in Bellevue, Washington, and then we moved to Culver City last year, and that's kind of our home now. So, yeah, we're fairly new, compared to some of the other events, but we've really grown a lot, and indie developers now, they look for our deadline as a goal, we're going to finish our game in time for IndieCade. People are telling me this all the time. So, and I'm also a college professor, so I kind of can take a pulse from my students. A lot of them now plan their game schedules around our deadline, so that's kind of cool.
Are you also a developer as well? Did you grow up playing games, or how do you fit into this person?
I actually started designing games in the 80s. I worked for a company that did museum and theme park attractions, and I did that for several years. I designed some high-end virtual reality games in the 90s. And then I went on to become an academic, and I've also done a lot of curating. So I did some very early curating of game exhibitions. So I've always been interested in showing games as an art form and also showing them to a broader public. One thing we love about our festival is, you have to have industry credentials to get into E3. And I'm sure most of your readers and viewers do not have game industry credentials, but anybody can walk into IndieCade. There's no age limit. People come with their kids. A lot of these games you cannot see anywhere else but IndieCade, especially the ones that are now published. So there's a number of, like, all the student games we show, we have a few here. No one will ever get to see those except at IndieCade. So we try to, one of the things we're trying to do very actively is evangelize indie games to the public. In a way, at some point, like the couple of the games over here to my right already have a huge following, just like Humans vs. Zombies. They don't really need a publisher because there's already, you've seen Minecraft, right? A great example. That's a slam dunk, that game, with no publisher. So if publishers may be becoming obsolete after a while, and if we can show people these games and expose them to more people like your viewers, then indies will have a lot more choice about how they can distribute what they make.
And actually, where can we find these games? Is there IndieCade anything online we can go to?
Absolutely. Our website is like an encyclopedia of indie games. Every game that we've shown and every event is listed there. You can look at the full list, or you can even select. So if somebody wanted to come and just see what we showed here, they can go to E3 2011 and it will show all those games. And every one of them has a link to either the website or the place where you can buy or download that game. So it pretty much will point you to anything you want to see.
Excellent. All right. Well, you are now seeing the future of games. This is Brandon. Thank you all for checking us out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brandon.
This is so awesome.
It was a pleasure.